What up, and welcome to the Shivering Isles. Today we're going to look at the mighty mushrooms of Sheogorath's realm and perhaps learn something about them that has not already been covered by any other video on YouTube. So first we're going to cover all the different species of fungi and then get into a little bit of overall lore on the root, and what that actually implies about the fungi in the area. I think I've got a nice little theory here, so stick around for that. Alright, over here in Mania, we have 4 different species of mushrooms, 3 of which you can see on the screen. Up top on the rock face here, we have the Hydnum azure, the purple bracket mushroom you see. And right below that, on the ground, you see the worm's head cap, and off to the right, you see the lighter colored Mania mushroom tree. And then lastly for Mania, we have these green multi-capped mushroom stems here. So I'm not going to go in depth about every single mushroom in Mania, and I'm going to talk more about the mushroom trees themselves in just a little bit, but I do just want to point out the obviously colorful appearance of the mushrooms in Mania. We've got the 2 purple mushrooms, we've got the green multi-capped mushroom stems, and we've got the brighter colored mushroom trees, and that's all going to tie back into the root theory, which you may have heard of. And if you haven't, you can check out Hannah the Hermit. I'm gonna put a link to her video. She talks a whole lot about this, and I don't think there's a need for me to retread all of the material, but I do think that I've got a little bit of an idea here about what's going on that I haven't heard before, so I do want to talk about that. But first, I want to talk about a little bit about what may have inspired a couple of the mushrooms that we just looked at. First of all, being the Hydnum azure. So start off by saying that the Hydnum is a real genus of mushrooms. They are commonly known as hedgehog mushrooms. Instead of gills, they have little spines under the cap where the spores are released, which we don't see on this mushroom. It just looks like it has, regular like pores, like a polypore, like a bracket mushroom. But there are no real bracket mushrooms in the Hydnum genus in real life, and there are no purple ones either. So I don't really know why this mushroom is called the Hydnum azure, but that is what it is. But, okay, next mushroom, worm's head cap. I don't really think this mushroom is based on anything specific, but I do think it bears sharing with you all that there is in fact a very, very purple mushroom, and there are multiple purple mushrooms, but this one in particular, the Cortinarius violaceus, one of the most striking mushrooms I've ever seen. Not in real life, never seen this in real life, but just take a look at it. So the worm's head cap has a white stem, and this one just has a straight up purple stem. I don't necessarily think the worm's head cap is based on this mushroom, but I mean, you look at the cap, it does kind of have a pattern on it. So maybe this was part of the inspiration for it, or maybe not. Either way, very cool. And I figured I might as well say a few words about this, and really all there is to say about these green multi-capped stems is that mushrooms don't grow like this in real life, with the cap sort of being pierced by the stem and then more caps growing around it. This just doesn't happen, but still, very cool. Alright, so here in Dementia we have 3 species of fungus. We have the blister cap, that's the pale one. We got the fungus stalk there, and then off to the right, you can barely just see it there, was one of the mushroom trees of Dementia, which are, of course, darker than the mushroom trees of Mania. Okay, so the blister pod here. Very unassuming looking mushroom, not a whole lot going on with it. I just want you to just look at the mushrooms here in Dementia. None of the bright colors from Mania, right? You got some of the green with the stalks and the mushroom trees, but really just very pale, like white mushrooms here in Dementia. So just keep that in mind. And it's a similar story with the fungus stalk. Like I just said, very pale. It's white. It's got some green, which interestingly enough, you see the mushroom tree in the background. It's got that same glowing green color to it. And yeah, I think there's something going on there. But I also want to point out the hulking scalon, sort of creature that you see in the Shivering Isles sometimes. It seems like it's got these false fungus stalks on its back, like it's for camouflage. But of course, the hulking scalon can also go invisible, so there's no need for it to have this camouflage. But anyway, also I do think it's worth mentioning that the fungus stalk appears to be based on infundibuliform caps, which in real life do have this same funnel shape, but then they actually open up into mushrooms, and there's no evidence that the fungus stalk actually opens into a cap at all. I don't think it does. It's not a mushroom, it's just a fungus stalk. Alright, next, on to the mushroom trees and the root and just what the heck is going on with all that. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with the root, I'm gonna give you a quick rundown on it, but there's also a much more in-depth video that I'm going to link you to if you want to know more about it. So essentially the root is this system of roots, of course underground, and it is theorized by an in-universe scholar to actually be this sort of living system. It is guarded by the gnarls. They sort of have this symbiotic relationship. The scholar has this very interesting theory that the root system is actually transporting colors from dementia into mania. So the dichotomy in the two areas of the Shivering Isles is actually caused by this root system. And this scholar actually goes as far as to say that Sheogorath is not the cause of the madness that we see in this dichotomy. It is actually the root system and the gnarls, and he says that if you kill all the gnarls, you would actually bring balance to the Shivering Isles. And this is interesting because we actually do know that Sheogorath himself does not cause the madness in the Shivering Isles, right? It's the curse that the other Daedric princes placed on Jigalag, who they feared. So with that in mind, it's possible that this scholar is completely correct and that the root system is causing this bipolar nature that we see in the Shivering Isles. And this scholar wrote a book in Universe. That's where I'm getting most of this information from. It's called Bark and Sap. And I'm going to read you a quick excerpt from it where they write, when we look at the dementia side of the land, colors are muted and dark, and in the mania side, bright and colorful. I believe the root system and the gnarl that serve it are draining the color from the land of dementia and giving it to the land of mania. Okay, so I read that just to impress upon you the importance of this color transfer to this theory that this scholar is proposing. And of course, I've been stressing the color of the mushrooms throughout this entire video. I don't think it's just a thematic choice that the mushrooms in dementia are much less colorful. I think it is actually a sign to, point us to this theory, to lend credence to this theory that this scholar is proposing to us. Okay, so let's finally talk about the mushroom trees in the Shivering Isles. So, of course, you've got the two variants. You've got the darker ones in dementia and the lighter colored ones in mania. And if you harvest these mushrooms, the dementia variant will give you black tar, while the mania variant will give you unrefined green mote. Interesting. They both have colors in their names, don't they? So here's what I think is going on. The dementia mushroom trees absorb light, absorb color. They absorb the color, transfer it through the root system into the mania mushroom trees. That's basically just what the scholar is telling you. But I want you to look at the colors that the mushroom trees glow, because I think that is a hint at this color transfer theory. So the mushroom trees in dementia will absorb the colors, of course. That is probably where the green glow comes from. It's from all the colors being absorbed. I think that this probably has to do with the creation of the black tar that it can give you if you harvest it. And I think that this black tar that you see hanging down from the giant mushroom trees, I think it's just being secreted. I've seen a couple different theories about this. I think it's just being secreted from the mushroom tree, right? It doesn't need the black tar at this mature stage. It just sort of secretes it, right? And then all of the actual colors, because black is the absence of color. So all of the actual colors are then transferred through the root system to the mania side. And I think that this is probably also where the fungus stalk gets its green glow. I think it's probably the same thing. Perhaps it's even absorbing the colors along with the mushroom trees. or maybe it's just using the color to grow, its own separate life form. But regardless, I think it's from the same source. So the dementia trees absorb all of the color. They once they've taken all of the color out, they transfer to the mania side. They secrete the byproduct, the black tar, which is of course the absence of color. The mania trees, they take this color from the root system, which is why they glow the same exact green color when they are younger. But by the time they are mature, the mushroom glows yellow, which is the color of mania in general. And so I think that the young trees have this green moat inside of them, and I think that the green moat is the green color that we see. But by the time that they are mature, it has turned into this. It's been converted, I think, into this yellow color. And so I think that there's some way in which the color is refined as they grow older. So yeah, and again, there are other videos that have to do with the root, but I think none of them have really gone in depth about what's going on with these mushrooms, why they glow these colors, and how that's connected to the actual color transfer theory itself. So yeah, that was the main gist of the theory that I've got. I've just got a couple more things to say about a couple different aspects of the root. So just a couple quick notes on the gnarl, which in Bark and Sap was mentioned as having a symbiotic relationship with the root and as having a body completely made up of plant material. As you can see here, has two separate species of mushrooms, it looks like, growing off of it. Got a red colored mushroom on its bottom half and a brownish variant on the top half. And lastly, one little just final mystery here is the connection of these root stalks and then these I don't know, giant bulbous things. I was just messing around down here underground and I found these things, these root stalks. So I guess these grow directly from the root, and they grow these little wisp cores if you harvest. That's what the little ball at the end is, a little wisp core. And I was just thinking, do these do these root stalks, do these grow into these giant bulbous things that we see here? It kind of looks like maybe the bottoms are just like the stalks and they've formed into one giant, I don't know, bulbous wisp core. Who knows? I don't know. I thought it was something cool. I don't know what these things are. The bigger ones, obviously, they aren't even harvestable, so who knows? Just something to think about. Alright, and that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think. I kind of didn't have a script this time, just started talking. Let me know if you liked it. Comment, subscribe, whatever, or don't. It's all good, really. Yeah. Peace out.